let's talk about Scandinavia, a region that consistently tops the list for people looking to relocate. High-quality education, excellent social programs, beautiful scenery, and attractive residents. It sounds idyllic. Sweden, especially, draws a lot of attention. But is it truly the dream destination it appears to be? In this video, we'll explore different sides of life in Sweden and let you be the judge. Sweden is surprisingly large, covering 528,000 square kilometers. That's comparable to Spain, Thailand, or California. But unlike those densely populated places, Sweden has just 11 million residents. Think about it. Thailand has around 50 million people, Spain over 70 million, and California 40 million, all packed into roughly the same area. This means Sweden offers a lot of personal space and a tranquil environment. This tranquility seems to contribute to a happy populace. Studies by well-known organizations like CNN and Forbes ranked Sweden the fourth happiest country in the world in 2024. Such reports contribute to Sweden's reputation as an ideal place to live, even for people who've never been there. Another factor contributing to Sweden's stability is its long history of peace. They haven't participated in a war since 1814, avoiding the devastation of World Wars I and II. While other countries suffered immense human and financial losses, Sweden quietly progressed. This peaceful past helps explain how Sweden remains relatively stable despite welcoming a large number of immigrants. So, what's everyday life like in Sweden? Generally, Swedes enjoy a high quality of life. They are known for their sophisticated style and overall well-being. The comprehensive social safety net provides security, ensuring access to healthcare, education, and unemployment benefits. However, Sweden has its drawbacks. Winters are harsh, with long periods of darkness and freezing temperatures. And then there are the taxes. Prepare yourself for rates that can reach as high as 60% to fund those generous social programs. Another perk? The tap water is incredibly clean. Drink straight from the faucet, fill your bottle at a public fountain. No problem. No limescale buildup, no worries about water quality, even for those used to high standards. Plus, Sweden is a forager's paradise. Wild blueberries and herbs grow abundantly, and locals often gather them for teas and other remedies, especially during the cold months. Now, let's talk about social values. Human rights are paramount in Sweden, and physical punishment of children is strictly forbidden. It's a society that prioritizes the well-being of its youngest members. Sweden is also a hotbed of innovation, giving birth to globally recognized brands like IKEA, Volvo, and Epidemic Sound. While Volvo's production has been under Chinese ownership for the past decade, it retains its Swedish identity and continues to produce high-quality, durable vehicles. In terms of aesthetics, Swedish cities are remarkably clean and boast a distinct architectural style. Modern buildings often feature a palette of brick red, deep red, and cream, creating a visually striking contrast. And if you're not used to European architecture, the triangular roofs reminiscent of castles and the medieval vibe they bring to the cityscape can be truly captivating. Life in Stockholm, the capital, moves at a different pace. It's a bustling business hub, yet surprisingly calm. No chaotic traffic jams, no constant honking. People walk, bike, or scoot to work, reducing reliance on cars. That being said, owning a car in Sweden is relatively affordable, especially compared to some regions where taxes can double the price. You can find a used, low-mileage Volvo for between $1,000 and $15,000 without breaking the bank. Did you know Sweden has over 221,000 islands? You can take ferries and boat tours from Stockholm to explore them, though many are uninhabited and completely wild. Even if island hopping isn't your thing, cruising around Stockholm's waterways offers a unique and peaceful perspective on the city. Now, if you're coming from a vibrant place like Italy, Germany, or Ukraine, Stockholm might feel a bit quiet. Life revolves around work and tranquility. But if you're arriving from a Middle Eastern or African country, Sweden might feel like heaven because of its high quality of life and low crime rates. Women can safely walk alone at night with little fear of harassment. It's an incredibly safe country. Sweden ranks 118th on the list of countries with the highest crime rates. Interestingly, much of the crime is committed by immigrants, possibly because adjusting to high taxes can be tough. For example, freelancers can face up to a 50% tax rate on their income, a significant burden for newcomers. Despite these challenges, Swedes are often considered among the most beautiful people in the world. Beauty is subjective, of course, but compared to other European countries, Swedes are often described as stunning. Men in Sweden are often tall, blonde, and dress stylishly. They're generally well-groomed, regardless of age. They tend to be serious and focused on work and family rather than casual dating. They look for lasting relationships, not flings. But ladies, don't get too excited. Swedish women are just as beautiful. Let's be real, fitting in Sweden can be tough for newcomers. Swedes are often perceived as stylish, educated, and, well, gorgeous. It can be a bit intimidating. Swedish women, for example, tend to be fit and healthy, often with that classic ash blonde hair and blue eyes. Tinder is a popular way to connect, especially for expats, as the social scene can be a bit reserved, and striking up conversations with strangers isn't always easy. It's not that Swedes are unfriendly, but they value their personal space. Beyond the dating scene, there are other social outlets, like a surprisingly vibrant salsa dancing community. Stockholm's location on Lake Mälaren and the Baltic Sea adds to its charm. It's a short hop across the water to Helsinki and Tallinn. These three capital cities share a lot in common: clean air, low population density, stunning architecture, and a highly educated populace. Sweden's vast forests, covering 69% of the country, contribute to the exceptionally fresh air. In fact, only about 3% of Sweden is urban, but even in the cities, you'll find plenty of trees and green spaces. Swedes have a deep connection to nature. They prioritize preserving the environment, even when constructing buildings. This respect for nature is woven into the fabric of Swedish culture. You'll even find it reflected in their national anthem, with lyrics celebrating the country's natural beauty. So far, we've painted a pretty rosy picture of Sweden, but to keep it real, we need to talk about the challenges too. It can't all be sunshine and rainbows, right? Let's dive into some of the downsides. Okay, let's talk about the cost of living. Even with a high quality of life, Sweden can be expensive. Think $5-6 for a cup of coffee and $25 for a plate of pasta. Ouch! The pandemic and the war in Ukraine haven't helped, driving up prices on everyday items like cereal and coffee. Swedes have been hit with a sudden 10% inflation rate, making eating out or even grabbing a coffee a pricey affair for both locals and visitors. Some argue that if you earn Swedish krona, spending Swedish krona shouldn't be a problem. But if you're constantly converting prices back to a weaker currency, the cost of living will feel astronomical. And here's a surprising fact: Sweden's economy is actually one of the weakest in the European Union. While generally stable, the cost of living is incredibly high. Electricity prices, for example, have jumped fivefold in the last year. Food prices are up 9%. A whopping 80% of Swedes have felt the pinch of these rising costs. Despite the challenges, immigrants tend to be quite fond of Sweden. Interestingly, the immigrants granted residency in Sweden often come from more elite backgrounds compared to those in places like London. Those familiar with Sweden's immigrant population often observe that they are generally more intelligent, educated, composed, and hardworking than immigrants in major cities like London or New York. This is reflected in their quick mastery of the Swedish language, often achieving high scores on language proficiency exams, which are often essential for long-term residency. Furthermore, families who relocate to Sweden integrate smoothly into the culture and lifestyle, adapting quickly to their new environment. Americans, in particular, seem to thrive in Sweden, readily embracing Swedish norms and customs. Sweden's diverse population includes people from Syria, Iran, and other Arab nations, as well as those with fairer complexions hailing from Russia and Ukraine. While many immigrants praise Sweden as the best country in the world, those struggling with the high cost of living in cities like Stockholm often seek a more rural existence. One example of such a place is Skansen, a picturesque village south of Stockholm, which also functions as an open-air museum, offering a glimpse into Sweden's historical lifestyle. For those seeking a tranquil escape, surrounded by ducks, babbling brooks, lush greenery, and the soothing sounds of birds and insects, heading south is highly recommended. Northern Sweden, in contrast, experiences significantly harsher weather. These quieter southern regions are often populated by residents over 50, as younger generations often migrate to Stockholm for career opportunities. We'd love to hear your thoughts on Sweden. Share your opinions in the comments below, and don't forget to give this video a thumbs up to support the channel. See you in the next one.